There we go. All right, guys. It's been a while that we have not done a podcast, but there has been a lot of good shit this month, including today's news.
Goddamn right.
Yes. So we got Dids. Welcome back.
Hi. Thank you. It's been too damn.
Yes, indeed. So, um, so we're going to express our opinion. Some of them will be jumping in other topics, but you know who we are. We can rumble on anything, and we're just going to, uh, talk about video games and the news and other type of, what do you call it, next generation type of things. So let's go ahead and start with the news of today. Xbox bought Bethesda.
Xbox bought COVID. How about that?
Okay.
Xbox Game Studios has bought Bethesda, or has bought Zenimax, which is the parent company of Bethesda, and I think about 7 different other companies that they acquired for $7.5 billion.
Yes. I mean, wow. So I'm going to read this article here on Kotaku.com. Even though I dislike Kotaku, whatever.
I hate all news websites. It's
yeah,
healthy.
me too. Anyways, pending the closure of a 7.5 billion cash sales, Microsoft has purchased Zenimax Media, the parent company of Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, ID Software, Zenimax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Runhouse Studios. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's
and
that's quite a number.
Wait, they have id Software?
Yeah, because that's
They
inside. Yeah,
They own Doom now. Wow.
exactly.
Okay. And
That's
Wolfenstein.
yeah, exactly. So, according to a press release posted by Bethesda this morning, the sale is expected to be finalized by the second half of fiscal year 2021, giving Microsoft ownership of the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Dishonored, Prey, and whatever else ZeniMax Studios might be cooking up. Let's give it a pause there. Wow. I mean, Microsoft has a lot of, money.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely what I wanted Microsoft to do long time ago, man. Because I know Microsoft can do this shit. Now, that said, the exclusivities that I've been rambling all these years, these almost 6 years with freaking Xbox One. I was like, okay, can this actually happen? Because we all know that Xbox has been buying other studios, but we haven't heard of anything of them yet. Besides
They're
Ninja
all probably
Theory.
working on secret project.
I mean, man, like they have been working for so long that this, yeah. Anyways, I just don't want to happen that with Bethesda. And Bethesda is, they have a lot of developers there that are extremely brilliant, and they have talent. I can see a crossover Halo with Doom, or actually
That would
developers from Doom doing Halo games, which that is a plus.
Didn't the release title that they were gonna have for the Xbox, for the new Xbox, I don't remember which one it is. It's a Halo title, but it got delayed, didn't it?
Yeah, the Halo Infinite. That looked like
yeah,
shit.
Infinite. Did it? I haven't seen it yet.
It looks like shit, and that's why it got delayed. People have been making memes of it. It was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, that presentation.
Is it gonna be
It
Is
is
it?
open world, and it looks shit.
Oh, great! Is it gonna be another Anthem?
I think it's a bit worse.
Oh God! I mean, it can't. Well, Anthem was worse than Fallout 70.
Man, can't even tell, dude. Like, I know all that I know that Halo, it's been delayed because of I mean, if you see the gameplay, at least the gameplay, there's pop-ups of clouds, pop-outs of grass. Like it's so slow, and it wasn't even running on the Xbox One Series X. It was running on a PC. So
Wow.
yeah, wow, yeah. So that for me is like, no, you need to fix this game. And right now that I see Bethesda, I'm like, can they actually help these developers fix this Halo? Because
See, that's one thing that's one thing that worries me. The
mm-hmm,
fact that they showed it on PC, because
mm-hmm,
going back to that, they acquired so many studios. They have 8 studios. I know of plenty of studios that are still open that they've acquired before. They've got to have
right.
like over 20 studios
Of
now.
course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the fact that they have Xbox and they have PC gaming, and you know that their main focus is PC. That
Right.
worries me that they might want to I'm thinking like the great Angry Joe has taught us before. Speak with your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like when you're trying to make a purchase, make sure that the customer's best interest is in a way. This doesn't seem to me like something that's best interest. This seems to me like trying to start a monopoly.
Right. 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 So, so yeah. Um. Yeah, that's the thing because Xbox has been doing more PC than just its own console. They've been more concentrated on the Game Pass lately, and not first party things that they actually do for exclusive for their console.
They already said that every single Bethesda game that they want on the console from like their past catalog, every single one is going to be completely available once the Xbox launch on the Game Pass.
And that's a plus.
So that's like
yeah.
that is a plus, but I also see it like how my brain works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see it like I see the positives and then I see the negatives.
Negatives. Mm-hmm.
And then I look at all the possibilities. And it's like that just seems to me like they're focusing on doing things for PC and then just not caring about consoles, just turning it into like a PC port console. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Right.
And
So,
that just
yeah.
seems to me like either giving Sony the full like the full, how do I say? I am at a loss of a word right now. The full legibility
Mm-hmm.
of the console, of the console, like the whole, like these guys are okay. These guys are the one owning this game right now, and we'll just focus on this and be complete and just take the game developers from the consoles and just have them focus on PC. That's one thing that worries me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that worries me too. Because we all know Phil Spencer just wants everyone to play their games, but if you want to sell your console, just make at least 2-3 exclusives, just for the Xbox Series X. I mean, you have Bethesda. You have Bethesda right now, and it's the one of the most talented developers and studios there. I mean, we're not talking about EA here, man. We're talking about Bethesda.
Anthem.
Exactly. You got what I mean? This is no
I
other.
mean, there is Anthem, and then there's Fallout 76.
I mean, man. EA has been screwing up. That's why Bethesda is a little bit higher than that, than just that, Because I respect more Bethesda than I do with EA. You get what I mean? Because if it was EA, it would have been something else. This would have been a different conversation. Like
if this would have been BA, we wouldn't even need to have this conversation. Like, yeah, they're closing them down.
Yeah. So, very smart move for Xbox right now. Other concerns that I have, besides things going on PC, is that, like I mentioned earlier, Xbox tends to not giving a lot of liberty to their developers to do something else. I mean,
Okay.
I've seen that with I know these guys are just for racing games, for Forza Horizon.
Yes. Forza. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they acquired Forza.
Other developers like the creators of Gears of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have them do something else. You get what I mean? Like, it's not all Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Let's not be completely hyping up the greatest game from this acknowledged and respected studio.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a life-changing game. It's gonna completely change the game industry, and it's Gears of War 6.
Exactly. So, at this point, will Bethesda help Xbox, or Xbox will help Bethesda?
I get your hypothetical in that situation. But honestly, when you see the full situation right now, like looking at Bethesda's history, again, you know me, I'm a person that is really into RPG games.
Right.
And I like action RPGs. Who has some of the best open world action RPG games with actual content out right now? Bethesda, with Elder Scrolls and Fallout games.
Yeah.
But Bethesda, with their most recent projects, most notably, I've already mentioned Fallout 76, they did have a lot of problems with that game. They did make back enough money to cover the costs of the production and development of the game, and then also the publishment and the advertising. But it still flopped, or at least performed under industry standards, I think is a usual quote for games like that. Because the under industry standards, what they're projecting that a game will make is always going to be way more than what they've put into it. Because those big numbers, seeing those games achieve those big numbers, is what gets big advertisers to invest in your company and to invest in your game during development. So, the fact that they acquired that Microsoft was like, yo, here you go, just like a huge wad of cash on Bethesda's lap.
And they say,
like,
we're sold.
Yeah, Microsoft is definitely like, yes, please, thank you. May I have another, sir? Like, oh god.
I mean,
Please don't give us another Fallout 76.
Yeah, like, I see the difference, because, I mean, Fallout games, even the graphics look mostly dated, but when you see Doom and other type of, like, Wolfenstein, they look great. Like,
yeah.
What engine are they using still? Like I don't get it, really. That's I don't know.
I honestly don't know why. Like, again, Fallout 76 was... Okay, I don't want to talk too much. I'm not very knowledgeable on the development between Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas to Fallout 4.
But you're a fan of it, and you know what you're talking about.
But I do know that there was a pretty big graphical improvement for sure, although it was just like the coverings. Because the actual models themselves, the worlds and the object, how the engine renders everything in the world, it's exactly the same. It's the exact same skeleton. Doesn't seem like there was that much improvement in that.
Right.
Just more finer tuning.
Do you remember that?
What I would
16 times the detail.
16 times the detail. That was for Fallout 76.
Yeah, man. Like, oh,
which
God.
was completely horrible because it was obvious they just took stuff from Fallout 4
Exactly. Copy and paste
and
and like.
copy pasted it. And they even like the company admittedly shortened QA testing periods so that they could just get the game out there and start selling. So yeah,
Oh, what a
16
disaster.
times the detail.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, I hope they change the engine, like for real, man, because um, Fallout has its own fan base. They need to be respected. I mean, like you can see, like even in Doom, Wolfenstein, and all the other games, they look better than Fallout. I mean, like, but hey, that's just me. I mean, but it's clearly obvious that it's like there has to be some improvement. Although,
Yes, like even if a game looks better, that doesn't mean it's technically a better game.
exactly.
Like I really often go back and play older games because they just play better. Like I don't want to watch a game. I want to play a
Exactly.
game. Like you have to stay fresh, you have to improve, you have to bring new stuff to the gameplay table, to gameplay mechanics. You can't just rinse and repeat the same things over and over again.
Exactly.
Like yes, you could find a format that works and people will be like, "Oh my god, this is the best format for a gameplay ever." But then once you release after 3 games with 5 years in between each of the games, it's like, I'm sorry. I think it's about time you started doing something different,
Exactly,
improving
yeah.
yourself, instead of
Exactly.
just fine-tuning the same game over and over.
Exactly. There's some other stuff that I really want to mention that is according to this topic. We all know that Xbox bought Bethesda and all of that, but I can see Sony having a step up. I don't know if you noticed on the last presentation of Sony, PlayStation, of course. Um, Final Fantasy 16 is gonna be exclusive for PlayStation 5.
Oh, I didn't hear about Final Fantasy 16. I heard about Spider-Man, but not Final.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is exclusive. So I'm here.
Is it open world?
It looks more like it has that vibe of Final Fantasy 14 and 15 at the same time. So it might have that open world thing. So we didn't see that much. It was not a cinematic trailer. It was actually gameplay, of course, Sony. So they show gameplay, and they show that it was actually an exclusive for the PlayStation 5. Now I'm here thinking, because this is not the only thing that Sony has exclusive for Square Enix, because Final Fantasy 7 Remake is actually still exclusive for the PlayStation 4, and now this. Now, I cannot jump into conclusion, but I can see Sony and Square Enix are having more of a, happy time.
Happy. Do you mean like they're not at war?
Exactly.
There's no console war. They're just playing along.
So yeah, it's just weird for me because we all know that Square Enix started with the PlayStation back in PlayStation 1, and actually making PlayStation 2 exclusives also, such as the Kingdom Hearts, mostly all the PlayStation 2 Final Fantasy games. I think it was 9, 10, and 11, if I'm not mistaken.
The PlayStation 2 games were 10, 11, and 12.
10, 11, 12, yeah. So
And 10 2. Please don't count that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I mean, are they actually, coming back together? Like, hey, can you make this exclusive? It happens the same thing with Insomniac games, because right now Sony owns Insomniac games. So they bought it. I think it was this year or last year. I do not remember, but it was recent. So the same thing happened with Insomniac, because Insomniac was actually doing exclusive for the Xbox and also for Sony, the Ratchet and Clank, of course. And now Sony owns Insomniac. Now the same thing is happening to Square Enix. Now we cannot jump into conclusions yet, because we cannot say that okay then Sony's buying Square Enix. That is very hard to happen. I mean, Square Enix is big of a company. It's not only Square Enix Japan, it has also US and Europe. It has all three. So it's a big market. It's and they have a lot of IPs on Square Enix. So I don't know. I mean, the competition right now between Xbox and Sony, this is what I wanted a long time ago. And I hope that the Xbox makes some hardcore exclusive with Bethesda. That is just my opinion right now. I just want them to just be who they actually were on the original Xbox and the 360 days, you know.
See, I'm more the type of person where I would prefer no video game companies be bought out by other publishing companies or people that create the consoles. Right. I'm more of a person of let's not have exclusives. Let's just make everything available everywhere. Because I'm more the person of like, if you want something to prosper, if you want something to function and keep generating money in a way that is legal, humane, it gives the industry's workers all their possible rights. It's in a economy that feeds itself, and how you do that is with availability, because you're putting the customer's best interests in mind. When your focus is to please advertisers, that's where all these problems pop up that you see often when people start referencing like the console wars between two of the biggest companies in the industry. I just feel like exclusives are very detrimental towards that.
I mean,
as
people,
Zyber said.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I know that people sees exclusivity as very anti-consumer. I don't see it that way. If we go ahead and look at Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, they all have their exclusive. When we're not whining about their series and their movies being in the other platforms, we just go ahead and pay their service. You get what I mean? Now, difference from a console, because a console is extremely expensive, which you need to sell. That's another type of, hardcore shit right there. You need to sell your console. You need to have exclusives in order for your console to survive, or it will be ending up like other consoles like the Dreamcast. I mean, even though the Dreamcast had their own exclusives, but it didn't have that third-party support, such as the Wii U. Even though the Wii U did not fail as the Dreamcast, but it was a failure because it didn't have
Wii
that.
U was mainly a PR/.
It was a disaster.
Oh yes.
It was
because as a console, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was just.
It
wasn't explained.
Yeah, people were so confused, and even though they had their own exclusives, it was just not enough, because even third parties, just like Bethesda, Ubisoft, they weren't making as much games on the Wii U. But now the Switch comes out, hey, it's selling. Let's go make games for that, because it has its own unique stuff, its own features, its own exclusivity. Right now,
it's got 32 gigabytes of storage,
in which you need to buy more storage. So yeah, I know it's a a lot of people may say, "Oh, that's anti-consumer." It's not anti-consumer. Right now, Xbox is not being anti-consumer because they're bringing people to their platform and providing their fans what they actually want. If they want games, you're gonna get games on our platform, just like Netflix, just like Disney Plus. Let's just give another live action on Disney Plus, even nobody cares. But let's just give it to the fans because even most of our fans don't like it. There's gonna be people who will still defend us and like the movie and rate it 5 stars out of 10. You got what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. It's business, and a lot of people just don't think it that way. Hey, they need to survive somehow.
But it's business for who? Because if you're gonna bring the comparison of like all the different streaming companies like Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, when you see it in that way, for the consumer, it would be better to not have that exclusivity and have multiple movies available. If you create your own movies like Netflix does, if you create your own movies like Disney does, then yeah, that makes sense for you not wanting to share your movie with those companies. But if companies want to share their movies with other companies, then yeah, sure, go ahead and share them.
Exactly.
That's freaking awesome. But the point of at least what I'm saying is when you have a Netflix and a Hulu and a Disney Plus account and HBO Go or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
If you want to see movies that are exclusive to each of those ones, you need to pay for each of those ones. If you have exclusives on PS4, if you have exclusives on Xbox, if you have exclusives on PlayStation, if you have exclusives on Xbox, you need to pay for both. If they're online game, you need to pay for the games. If they're online games, you need to pay for the online subscription. And then that's not including anything else that they want to charge you. Because going back to Bethesda, Elder Scrolls Online, you need to pay a monthly fee besides what you already paid to play for the console online.
Unless if Xbox wants to change that, for Xbox owners,
they could now.
They'll be like, for free for Xbox owners, and for Sony, they need to pay both. That they can do that. They have the power to do that, and that's the thing. If you want to buy, Elder Scrolls on the Xbox, then you're gonna have free online. And for Sony, well, you're screwed. Because Sony's not doing that shit because, they made a deal with, Xbox and Bethesda. And, it is what it is.
But here's the thing, Sony, but it's to give the choice. Like, again, you leave the choice to the consumer. You don't do things that basically just give the consumer absolutely no other option to experience or play your game. That's what's anti-consumer about it.
I see that point. Either though, I mean, it's let's see, because once we see it as, okay, they're competing with each other and they need to do the best to win me over. You know what I mean? Like, okay, then if Sony's not gonna do that, then I'm going ahead and buy an Xbox, and that's how it is.
But they're winning you over. Not to win you over, not to please you. They're pleasing the people investing money into their company. Because in the end, they give them more money than we do. Because they could sell millions of copies and cover the costs of the production of the game. But the advertisers would give them the big dinero from like the game profits. For like what they can claim as profits from the project of the game. And that's the worrisome part, man, because what you see people trying to make $500 million billion games over and over and over, that's what that does. And that's why you see games going through like the online format, the roadmaps, what happened with Anthem, what happened with Fallout 76, trying to put microtransactions in every single game. That's what happens. That's screwing over the consumer.
Of course, yes. That is actually a fact. I don't know if you have played Ghost of Tsushima yet. Yes, no?
I have not.
Okay. That game, of course, is a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and it has no microtransactions in it, and they're going to have a multiplayer for free. I think it's next month. And that is how you do a $60 game. You know, that's a bright example of not having a microtransaction on a $60 game and giving free content. But you're still at Sony because this is a Sony game, and that's a Sony win. So, for me, it's all based on the games. If the game wants to have microtransaction, that's your problem. Right now, I see things that, I think, what was the other game that didn't have microtransaction from Sony? I think it was The Last of Us Part 2, maybe. I do not remember, but right now, what this company is doing, I think is, what's his name again? The creator from Sly Cooper, damn it. How can I forget?
Oh, geez, Sly Cooper.
The creators from um
Sly Cooper, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Jesus, how did I that slip out? Sucker Punch.
Yeah,
So,
Sucker Punch. Yeah.
Sucker Punch are the creators of this game, Ghost of Tsushima. Sucker Punch creators of other games like Infamous. So this company right here is not actually a Bethesda kind of company. This is most likely the most small company that Sony has for years. And they're doing this. They're not asking for you for money. All that you spend, the $60, is just enough for them. And that is just the greatest present that they're going to bring us is that multiplayer games is being a samurai. Jesus, it looks great. It's 4-player co-op, and it's basically Assassin's Creed. But I mean, there's nothing topping this game at all at this point. I can see this game as Game of the Year. My point is that if Bethesda and Xbox try to do this same thing, it's a win. Because I know Bethesda has this issue with the microtransactions and the 16 times the details BS. Hey man, it's time to change. Because examples are being put in the table. And hey, competition is right there. You better make things right for the consumer. You know, not charging extra bucks. Right now, the next generation is going to be $70 for a game, including that Demon Souls game. Which, damn it, I mean, it is expensive. Right now, even $60 hurt. Imagine 70 plus tax. Plus tax. It is very expensive, man. And right now, I see that if you guys want to, to the consumer to just at least have a choice to just, if the physical copy costs more, it's okay. But if it's digital, it should be costing less. Just don't charge us $70 for a game.
I mean, they basically just want to butter you up for the, hi, you guys want to take a look at our Game Pass?
Like how much were the PlayStation 1 games cost? Like $30?
PlayStation 1s, I mean, I could ask my mom. I never bought any.
Like I know the PlayStation 2 games were $40. I remember those. Then
Yeah, PlayStation 2 games, I remember them being about $40. Some of
yeah.
them, yeah.
And then it jumped to 60 out of nowhere. I think it jumped like $20 more in the next generation. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
It was $20 jump from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3, original Xbox to Xbox 360.
That was.
I don't know. I mean, we're wanting about $10 now. That's because it's our money now, not our parents. That's a different. Because back in the day, it was our parents buying our stuff. Now it's our money. Now it hurts. It's two different stuff. But still, those were $20 different. Now it's like $10 different. But it's still expensive. It's almost $100. Just imagine the deluxe edition, the collector's edition,
Oh
being
God, please. No.
like, I can see that almost $200, man.
And it doesn't even include the game.
Exactly, the digital, only digital.
Not
get,
even.
They get the digital code. You don't even get the physical copy. Like,
Oh my God.
that has happened before. And that, for me, is anti-consumer. That is just BS. Like, you can't do that.
Ah, look at this. It's from NPR.org, article written by Reese Ox. He mentions that the Bethesda deal, as people are calling it, is expected to be finalized in the second half of the fiscal year 2021. So that's by the time that the whole process, like all the money and all the papers will be completely signed and by the second half of 2020. But then apparently Microsoft has already confirmed that the Xbox Game Pass, which currently has over 15 million cloud users. Wow.
That's including PC, though.
Oh, is it including PC?
Yeah.
Okay, ASCII, they're cheap. Anyways, what they're saying is that by the time the deal is done, then every single Bethesda game from the franchises that they do want will be available on the Xbox Game Pass, but that any new games that release upon day of release will also be immediately available on Xbox Game Pass. Yes.
It's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing I'm buying both. Are you gonna buy both?
I never buy both. I buy shit. You know me. I'm a broke ass gamer. I will buy a console.
Bro, every
3
gamer
years
is
after
broke.
released.
This is the most expensive hobby. Like, what other hobby is so expensive than being a gamer, a video game
And
gamer?
this and that is why the game industry is a monopoly. And we
They're
want to
rich as
prevent
hell.
doing that.
They're rich as hell. I mean, I can get the movies and all that series. I don't think they're winning as much as the video game industry.
Hey Zyber, how's Dead or Alive, by the way?
Why you bring that up? I am so suffering with that game, even though I still love the fact that it's still alive. The developers decided to have a break on quarantine. They haven't gone back since then.
Oh, they'll release like another $1,000 on DLC when they come back.
Yeah, when the other generation comes, you need to buy the game all over again and charge you another $60 or most likely $70 this time, and then buy the clothing again, buy all the skins, and I can see it coming.
Yep.
I can see it coming. But hey, the community is actually fighting, but they just don't freaking listen. I mean, like, Team Ninja, Tecmo Koei, they just more concentrated on Muso games, your games, the ones that you
Heck
like.
yeah. Heck
So-
yeah. Action RPGs.
Exactly. Even though I love Muso games, honestly I do love them, but damn it, fighting games just like Dead or Alive is my thing, you know. And they just forget about things a lot of times. They just don't care. Anyway, guys, we're gonna stop this podcast before this goes to a rant. I need to
24-hour podcast. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
do it live.
Do it live.
Oh hell no!
Oh my.
Oh boy! Are you buying Disney Plus?
I already have it. Thank you.
Oh, those. How much is it? $12 a month?
Think?
I don't even remember. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Hope Xbox does well with the Bethesda and Bethesda to Xbox. This is a new generation that is coming, and I hope that the competition gets tight, and that's what I want. This has been Zarapunky.
And it's.
And we'll see you guys later.